Welcome to a little bit of Italy right here in Australia. We're here today at Maranello Motorsport in Richmond, Victoria. And if you love Ferraris or want to race Ferraris, this is the place to come. Maranello is the closest thing to a factory Ferrari race team right here in Australia. In fact, they've won the Bathurst 12-hour twice. Most recently with this, a 488 GT3, which as you can see is getting ready for a race event in a couple weeks' time. This particular 488 GT3 is one of the first that was ever built and released into the wild. But that's not why we're here today. There are two very special cars at Maranello that I want to show you around. And the first is this, the Ferrari FXX. Now this track day special can't be driven on the road, obviously. But it also can't be competed in any race series around the world. It was built to be taken to tracks by Ferrari customers as part of the XX program run by the Maranello factory. Now, you have to be invited to be a part of the XX program, and there's a pervasive myth that exists that owners that spend millions of dollars after being hand-picked by Ferrari to pay for their cars don't actually get to take them home. They're kept by Ferrari at the factory. And while that might be true for customers in America and Europe and some parts of Asia, the two FXXs that are here in Australia can be kept by the owners where they please. There's no official XX program locally. Now this car here is based on the Ferrari Enzo and is powered by a 6.3 litre naturally aspirated V12. And when it's singing its lungs out, it sends 588 kilowatts to the rear wheels. In race trim, it's got slick tyres and carbon ceramic brakes. And the FXX was the first of its kind, eventually spawning a series of cars. Next came the 599XX, then the LaFerrari-based FXXK, which turned the crazy dial up to 11. But it wasn't the biggest, baddest track-only car to come out of Maranello. No, that honour goes to this, the F40 GTE. This car is one of just 7 in the world. It was restored by Maranello Motorsport here in Australia 10 years ago. So what's different about the F40 GTE? Well, like its GT and LM siblings, it started life as a regular F40 road car. Then it was handed over to the tuners at Michelotto, where they worked their magic and turned it into this track-only beast. It was originally intended to race at Le Mans in the 90s, but only 2 did so. This car hasn't competed, but it still has all the intimidation of every other F40 GTE in the world. A regular F40 has roughly 352 kilowatts. A GTE, thanks to revised intercoolers, new camshafts, a new ECU and more boost, is capable of 633 kilowatts. That's in full qualifying trim with the air restrictors taken out. Now this is a track car as well, so there was extra chassis bracing and reinforcement. But despite that, Michelotto was able to drop 200 kilograms for a total weight of just 1,100 kilos. You gotta remember that this car was built in an era before traction control, ABS or ESC. This is truly an intimidating race car that you have to respect. And it's one of the greatest cars that Maranello has ever produced. And it's hiding here in Richmond, Victoria, behind a bridge and beside a railway station. So, what's your favourite track-only Ferrari? Let us know and stay tuned to wheelsmag.com.au.